Hi, my name's Andrew Davenport, and this is a continuation of the quick return composting sequence that we're doing on kitchen waste. So this is the second part, where it's actually 3 weeks ago since we put some kitchen waste in. I usually add it a bit more frequently, but I've been a bit lazy. I've been storing it in a fridge, and I brought some back out with me now to compost. But we're going to have a look at the stuff that was put in just 3 weeks ago and see how we're doing with that. So I'm going to now point this thing at the bin. And there we have the bin again, insulated bin. A bit wet today, as you can see, but this is the insulated bin. Insulated all the way down its body till the lower part where the hatch is not insulated. So we're keeping that heat in that's generated by the bacteria when it's breaking down the vegetable matter and the fruit and everything we put in there. All no meat stuff, it's all vegetative. So it contains quite a bit of nitrogen, quite a lot of moisture, as we've already talked about. So yeah, we're going to have a look, see what the temperature is, see how it's done. So, excuse my hands, take the lid off. Inside here we've got the insulation we put on top, 2 lots of insulation. Let's go side by side over the compost. And if we have a look here now, you can see there's not an awful lot of evidence of any kitchen waste anymore. Look at the temperature, and we see that that's about 25 degrees C. You'll probably see that in reverse, but that's about 25 degrees C, which is a beautiful temperature for composting. And in there it's just mildly warm, there's plenty of worms and stuff. It's quite moist, it's probably a little bit too moist, it doesn't smell, but it could do with more of a medium that's going to soak up that moisture, to keep it nice, keep it aerated. Wet conditions expel air, cause mush, and that causes putrefaction, bad gases, bad greenhouse gases. Not good for the environment and not good for composting. But this is just about on the limit of what I would call the moist end of things. So what we want to do really is just add more of the either straw material or hay, something like that, dry wood chip, anything that's dry, contains carbon, keep those textures broken up. Now, I did talk about the activator last time. I'm going to tell you a bit more about it now. The activator is a blend of powdered herbs, nettle, dandelion, valerian, yarrow, chamomile, oak bark, and a bit of honey. So the leaves and the flowers from those herbs are dried and then turned into a powder. And equal quantities of the powder are added together to make the activator powder. So the honey is blended into milk powder. If you wonder about that, how do you get dried honey? Well, you can't buy dried honey, I don't think, but there's a way of getting soaking up that moisture in something that's like a desiccant, like the milk powder is. It absorbs that moisture and keeps it fresh. So we can put honey in there, in with the powder, and we add the powder to a pint of rainwater, and that is sprinkled in to the heap as we go. So with the good work that we've done in the preparation of the compost, chopping it up, putting a bit of soil in there to get the organisms in, and combining that with the compost activator, the QR compost activator, we've clearly done a good job here of making compost in 3 weeks. I mean, you will see bits of things that, the eggshells, and done a bit of woody material that's come from the composting area down here, because everything is wood chipped in our garden. All the pathways are wood chipped, so we can use that material, especially in the middle of summer when if it's dried out, and that can go in there, and that's going to contain worms and all the other organisms that we need to get the compost going. So a lot of it comes from the garden and the home. We're not bringing or buying anything in. You can buy a wood-based cat litter if you like, which we actually use in the kitchen because it's obviously clean. We don't want to bring a load of worms and stuff in the kitchen. My wife wouldn't appreciate that. So we can buy a wood-based cat litter which is based on pine. It smells nice, and that does all the right things of breaking the textures up, soaking up excess moisture, and introducing carbon. So that's all good stuff. I'm happy with the way this has gone. This is just routine for me. I usually do add more frequently materials, but we've had a busy time. But we've just stored those up in a spare fridge we've got where we had a bit of space, and we can continue composting all the year round with this compost bin because it's insulated. That's going to keep the heat in over the winter. You don't get massive temperatures, you might get 20 degrees C, you're lucky. 15 to 20 degrees C is a hell of a lot better than -5 degrees C, with things freezing up. So we're still keeping organisms active. Anything below 5 degrees C is when things go into dormancy, bacteria, fungi. Basically composting doesn't happen below about 10 really, 10, 12 degrees C. Anything upwards of that, we start to make compost. So during the winter, keeping it at 15, 20 degrees C, regular additions of kitchen waste does the trick, and just keep that heat in with the insulation on the outside, bit of insulation on top, and you'll make lovely compost. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.